ang daming mga modest people na nagsishame ng sexy clothing people.
Yeah.
And then may mga sexy clothing people na nagsishame ng modest people for different reasons.
Welcome to Adulting with Joyce Pring. Watch the full video of this episode on my channel, www.youtube.com/JoycePringTV. And if you want to level up your adulting game, check out joycepring.com/collections for my digital products and courses.
I wanted to have this topic because I was just talking to friends and I said na, this is so subjective. Like, okay, you can't tell me na someone who lives on an island and is constantly wearing a bikini is immodest because of the context of where they're living.
I did that too. I was in LU for a year.
And you were living in your bikinis.
I was living in my bikini.
Yes.
People in Australia do that as well, I think. They go to the mall in a bikini and it's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So parang culture context siya, diba? But I also think that there is a conversation to be had here because ang daming mga modest people na nagsishame ng sexy clothing people.
Yeah.
And then may mga sexy clothing people na nagsishame ng modest people for different reasons. And I just wanted to hear your guys' perspective on what that actually means. It doesn't have to be a blanket reality statement of what modesty and sexiness is. But for you guys, I want you to give us a definition of what you think sexy clothing and modest clothing is. Let's start with you, Enks.
I think that sexy and modest clothing, it really depends on your personal mindset and personal boundaries kasi. So, like, for example, what is modest to me is definitely not modest to my mother.
Right.
And what is sexy to my mom is amusing and endearing to me, right? No, but she can, because I know that she can look really sexy. You know what I mean? But it's your comfort level. And I think a big part of being or feeling sexy is how comfortable you are. You know what I mean? So it's something that I really wanted to expound on. That's why I'm so happy that you asked me to come on to this episode.
And Enks, I wanted you to be on this episode because I feel like you, out of many, many creators, would get so much hate and bashing online.
Yeah.
Because people are like, leave something to the imagination. Ganun na yung levels. And I want to hear like your perspective on it. How does it feel when people do that? And what would be running through your head when people say na masyado kang pa-sexy?
Multiple things. Because I think people get this idea that, like, pa-sexy is, I want to dress this way because I want people like doing that, I want these eyes on me. But I don't want that kind of attention. That's not what I'm looking for. And then, ang dami na nagsasabi na parang, kung ayaw mo yun, ba't ka nagpo-post ng ganyan? That kind of mentality. And it's like, that also creeps into like victim blaming and a whole other bigger topic. But in general, like, it does make me feel bad mostly because they're already judging who I am and they don't even know.
Right.
Like, you know me very well. We've known each other for a long time. And despite how I dress, I'm sure you don't think of me as like some, whatever comments.
People say,
yeah, because my clothes do not make up my personality. It helps express a part of my personality, that's for sure, but it's not the entirety of me. We don't wear ourselves on the outside, diba? There's a whole different and deeper part to that, and I think that's one of the reasons why I feel bad is because they look at that and they're like, they write you off automatically. Like, I know who you are already.
Parang nade-deduce ka into what you're wearing, right?
Yeah.
Into the kind of clothes that
Or
you
your
have.
clothes will describe who you are inside.
Yeah, parang
Yeah.
like that.
And I feel like it's a little unfair. The tattoos will tell you more than my
That's a
clothes.
different story altogether. So, okay, Maricar, how about you? What would you consider as modest or conservative clothing?
This is actually, I've never really thought about that question. So, nung hinihimay ko siya, honestly, just speaking about the clothing in itself, not the intentions of the wear or whatever. I feel my definition of sexy clothing, like just the clothing, is clothing that would draw more attention to the curves of your body. That's it. I mean, if I were to define sexy clothing. And then modest clothing would be something that not as attention's grabbing. But, you know, it's not, it doesn't seek as much interest or it doesn't draw the eye as
Very
much.
nondescript.
Yeah. So simple as that. If I were just to take the clothing in themselves. Kasi if you bring in the intention of the wearer, the judgment of the whoever will look at it, ibang usapan na yun. It will make like the definition more, it will need a bigger definition to encompass all of that.
Yeah, a lot of things to consider na if you try to define it. Would you say that you've always been conservative and modest in your clothing?
Yeah. I think it's because that's how I grew up. Like my mom was super conservative. Plus, it's like, she wasn't really interested in fashion. Like I can say that I'm the same, honestly, because I have this sister-in-law and she's such a great fashionista. And I'm like, can I just give you money? Can you just go shop for me? I mean, it's not that I hate fashion or whatever. Because when they do dress us up in like showbiz and stuff, and the stylist brings this really nice gown, and then I'm wearing it and it looks good. I'm like, wow, this is, I enjoy it. I enjoy wearing it. But maybe the process of studying fashion and going out and buying stuff, not so much.
Yeah. I'm the same.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
I'm the exact same way. Like, I have no mind or sense for fashion.
Right.
I know what looks good on me.
Yeah.
So I trust others to just do that for me. Like what the stylists when I have like an
they
event.
just come to you and hey, this is what you're gonna wear. And it's also nice.
Exactly. So I'm like, can I just buy this from you? So I'm like, okay, cool. Because I don't go shopping also.
Yeah.
I get that. Yeah, well, just coming from both of your definitions of it, I think we can reiterate that it is such a subjective topic that it really depends. But I can see just how different you guys are dressed up. Like sexily and modestly.
That's it for this episode of Adulting with Joyce Pring. If you liked this podcast, please don't forget to use the hashtag Adulting with Joyce Pring and also check out www.joycepring.com for the show notes and tag me on social media with at Joyce Pring. I'll talk to you guys again soon. Paalam!